So here we are, the repossessed Commodore. Fairly straight until you get to the front, and there's practically no door gap there. So it's been pushed forward, or pushed back I should say, by a bit of a crash in the front there. It's pushed the bonnet back, and big gap here. More of the damage inside. There's a bit of a buckle in the bonnet. These brackets have been pushed back a bit. Looks a little bit deformed there. This shouldn't be sort of like interfering with the radiator, so that radiator support's been pushed back. Previous damage there which has been fixed, but I think it's well and truly been hit pretty hard this time. And then a nice bit of damage down here. Thankfully it looks like the pillar's okay, because there's interesting alloys on there. A bit of superficial damage as well. So inside the boot, a few personal items there which we won't really show any addresses or anything like that, but there's another one of those mags. It's a standard Evoke one which has been painted matte black. Bunch of tools. Dog didn't come with the car. Bit of a hard hat there. A few other bits and pieces. Bit of a gap here where that bonnet's been pushed back a little bit, or that this is kind of back where it should be, even though we're going to put new hinges on and stuff like that. A ring and a lolly. Oh, right, so because the wiring is different, we're going to remove the this Evoke wiring here, remove that whole harness and replace it with the SV6 one that I've actually done some repairs on and taken some of the cop modifications out. All right, let's do it. I've just found something here which you kind of need to be aware of if you're ever working on an ex-police car. So down here, so once we've got all this sort of cowling and windscreen wiper stuff sort of out of the way here, you'll see a sort of this gooey stuff down here that's mastic, and what it is that's where the cables, they go from inside the cab to outside into the engine bay. And so unfortunately they've just pulled those wires out when they've decommissioned the car. They haven't put anything in there, so we need to make sure that we actually put a grommet in there, or else, you know, water will come down here and it will actually leak into the cab. And so if you do have wet carpet in your ex-police car, VE, VF, then and it's on your passenger side, chances are check that out. Okay, so I've stripped out all this mastic stuff here which was around the hole, and I found myself a grommet which is exactly the same as that one there. So what I plan to do is to get a bit of silicone and just pop it around here and pop it in the hole. Right, so that's just sorted out now. Any water that now runs down here is simply just going to flow down where it should flow normally, and we won't get any wet carpet anymore. So when you're changing the wire out on these things, a lot of these will sort of terminate here into the fuse box, and so we need to sort of remove these individual circuits here. And so to do that, you just push as hard as you can. There we go. She pops out, and then you're able to sort of follow that wire back to wherever it goes to. So once you've clicked them all out, might as well just take the whole fuse box out. So once you've clicked them all out, might as well just take the whole fuse box out. So once you've clicked them all out, might as well just take the whole fuse box out. So once you've clicked them all out, might as well just take the whole fuse box out. So once you've clicked them all out, might as well just take the whole fuse box out. So once you've clicked them all out, might as well just take the whole fuse box out. So once you've clicked them all out, might as well just take the whole fuse box out. So once you've clicked them all out, might as well just take the whole fuse box out. So once you've clicked them all out, might as well just take the whole fuse box out. So once you've clicked them all out, might as well just take the whole fuse box out. So once you've clicked them all out, might as well just take the whole fuse box out. So once you've clicked them all out, might as well just take the whole fuse box out. So once you've clicked them all out, might as well just take the whole fuse box out. So once you've clicked them all out, might as well just take the
So now that we've got this off, what we need to do is to take out any lights or anything that can be removed. So first things first, we'll get this off. That just clips out. Now these black bits here, they can't be removed, so we're going to have to either make the decision to paint the whole lot or to mask these sections up. But before we do anything, we need to sort of clean all the bits of chrome and plastics before we actually go and do anything next. So let's clean it up. The next stage is to get some of this, some of the maroon pad, and what this does is it'll clean up all that surface. Then after that, we'll hit it with some fine grit sandpaper just to smooth it all out, and then the next stage will be priming it up. The idea is to get rid of anything that's shiny, so it's starting to scratch up. We want to make sure that that's actually all that shine is removed. Once the shine's removed in this small spot here, then that should be enough to lay down some primer. Right, that's about where we want it. Still a little bit of shine there, but generally it is dull. So what we'll do next is we'll mask up these charcoal bits in the middle here. Right, so before getting under the car, I always make sure I've got at least 3 forms of safety. So first one here, I've got the crane, which is lifting the front of the car. Secondly, I have a jack under the cross member. And thirdly, I have 2 decent axle stands. And so I'll always make sure I've got at least 3 forms of, I guess, security holding the car up before I even get under there. Just my way of doing things. You've only got one life.
Couple of things I picked up. So before putting this unit into the car, this shock here looks like it's been leaking quite a bit. It's all sort of wet looking, so it's most likely that this shock here is stuffed, so I'm going to change that for this one, which is fine. And second thing that I found was this, the transmission mount. So that's split all the way through. So I definitely have to get another transmission mount there. I was going to swap it for this one, but unfortunately, I don't know if you can see there, but there's actually a split in that one as well, so that one's on its way out. So definitely time for a new transmission mount. Here's something that always happens when you're, well, what I've experienced anyway, doing the Vs and VFs, is when you're changing the springs out, you take these strut hats off, and these bearings are mostly always stuffed, or you take the strut out and then there's ball bearings all over the place. So best thing to do is whenever you whenever you're changing the springs out, then make sure you get yourself a kit. They're cheap as, 39 bucks for a pair. And then you've got a nice new bearing there as well. So here's one of the old subframe bolts. Fairly rusted up and, you know, obviously stretched, I'm sure. I think some people reuse them, but in this case I've got some new bolts direct from Holden. They're not that expensive, so just peace of mind, and doing it to basically factory specs. We'll chuck these in. These are the big ones for the rear of the subframe. They have like a massive torque setting, so let's see how we go with these. Okay, so now I've got the PCB out. Just under the temperature gauge is a small LED. Okay, it's tiny, and I'll just take the camera. It's this one right here. You can see there's actually a symbol on there, which is a symbol of a diode. And see how it looks like a backwards K? That means cathode. And so this side of the LED is where I'll put my black probe, and this side of the LED is we'll put my red probe when we've got the diode tester on. Pop these on here, and I'm actually not getting anything lit up at all. Like there's nothing lighting up, and we've got an overload as well. So if I compare that to a good board, so one that's good, I'll do the same test. I'll actually get a voltage, but also more interesting, I'll actually get that LED light up just a little bit as well when I test it. Pop that on to see how it lights up just a little bit. That means that the LED is good. I'll do the same thing on the other one. Nothing. It doesn't light up at all. So this LED here I've identified as being red because that's the color I need. So see that lights up red. What I'll do is I'll desolder that LED from the board and then move it over to the space on the other one. Flashing red. So job success. Put it all back together. Throw it back in the car.